a leader almost passed by an old friend without noticing, until recognition struck. It was a bright, sweltering afternoon in Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso. President Ibrahim Traoré had just completed an unannounced visit to a local school. His convoy idled at the curb, engines softly humming, when something caught his attention. By the roadside, leaning against a cracked, dusty wall, sat a man with a tin cup before him. His clothes were worn and stained, his hair streaked with uneven gray. Sunken eyes reflected years of hardship. People walked past without a glance, as though he were part of the pavement. Ibrahim's brow furrowed. Why does he look familiar? Wait here, he instructed his security team, his tone leaving no room for debate. The man looked up, squinting at the sunlight, lips parting in disbelief. Ibrahim, his voice cracked. Ibrahim's chest tightened. Musa, he stepped closer, searching the gaunt face. Yes, it was him, once vibrant, now a shadow of himself. Musa tried to stand, knees trembling. It's really you, he whispered. It's me, Ibrahim said, gripping his shoulder. What happened to you? Tears welled in Musa's eyes but were quickly brushed away. It's a long story, one I never imagined telling you, at least not like this. Come with me. We'll talk, Ibrahim said firmly. Musa glanced at his bare feet. I can't. Not like this. I'm not fit to enter your car. You're my friend. That's what matters. Ibrahim's voice left no space for refusal. Minutes later, Musa was at the presidential residence. He bathed, changed into clean clothes, and sat before steaming dishes. He ate slowly, almost hesitantly, as though the food might disappear. Between bites, gratitude and shame flickered across his face. When the table was cleared, Ibrahim poured 2 glasses of juice and sat across from him. Now, he said gently, tell me. You were one of the brightest men I knew. What happened? Musa stared at the glass, then sighed. It began 3 years ago, he started. He spoke of his life as a respected school principal in Bobo Dioulasso, of how he built a small house from his savings and married a woman named Stella. At first, we were happy, or so I thought. But she grew distant, always on her phone, quick to anger. I thought it was stress. I ignored the signs. His voice faltered. One afternoon, I came home early and found her in our bed with another man. Ibrahim's jaw tightened. What did you do? I walked out, Musa whispered. I couldn't fight. I was shaking. She didn't even apologize. She followed me outside and said it was over. She told me to leave my own house because he was the one she loved now. Leave the house you built? Ibrahim asked, eyes narrowing. Yes, Musa said bitterly. I refused. She took me to court, lied that she had paid for the house, even produced fake documents. The judge believed her. I was thrown out. What about your job? I lost that too. All my savings went to lawyers. Soon, I had nothing, no home, no work, no dignity. I stayed with a friend, but shame consumed me. I left, ended up under bridges, begging for scraps, eating once a day if I was lucky. And every time I closed my eyes, I saw her laughing with him. His head bowed, tears slipping down his cheeks. I became a shadow. I wanted to die, Ibrahim. I truly wanted to die. President Ibrahim Traoré rose from his chair, his voice steady but filled with warmth. Musa, you didn't deserve any of this. But I promise you, your story will change. Musa's eyes lifted slowly. You still call me your friend, after seeing me like this? Musa, I never stopped, Ibrahim replied, his gaze softening. That night, Musa slept soundly for the first time in years. Meanwhile, Ibrahim sat in his office, papers untouched, his mind on the man who had once stood by his side in school, sharing books, shielding him from bullies, urging him to dream. He gripped his pen with quiet resolve. I'll give him a fresh start. The next morning, Musa awoke to the scent of warm bread and fried eggs. The soft bed, clean sheets, and neatly folded clothes felt unreal compared to the cold pavement of the day before. A gentle knock sounded. "Come in," he said. A staff member entered with a tray. "Good morning, sir. The president asked me to serve you." Musa sat up, still stunned. "Thank you, truly." As he ate, a thought kept repeating in his mind, "Yesterday I was a beggar. Today I'm a guest in the presidential residence. What will tomorrow bring?" Later, in the garden, Ibrahim greeted him in simple clothes, his presence calm but commanding. "Musa, your story broke my heart," he said. "I didn't mean to bring trouble into your home," Musa murmured. "You didn't bring trouble," Ibrahim replied. "You brought truth, and truth should lead to action." "Action?" Musa asked, uncertain. "I've made arrangements," Ibrahim said. That morning, Ibrahim told Musa, "You'll see a doctor first. After that, there's a place I want to take you." By afternoon, Musa had been examined, given medicine, and received his first haircut in years. The reflection staring back from the mirror was no longer the broken man found by the roadside. His eyes held a faint spark of life. Ibrahim drove him to the outskirts of the city and stopped before a small cream and brown house surrounded by a tidy garden. "It's beautiful," Musa murmured. "Whose house is this?" "It's yours," Ibrahim said with a smile. Musa's voice trembled. "Ibrahim, this is too much. It's fully paid for." "No one can take it away," Ibrahim assured him. "Why would you do this for me?" Musa asked quietly. "Because I remember who you are," Ibrahim said, his eyes shining. "You gave me books when I had none. You stood by me when I was alone. You believed in me before I believed in myself." Musa shook his head, overwhelmed. "I only did what any friend would do." "And now," Ibrahim said, placing a firm hand on his shoulder, "I'm doing the same." Inside, the house felt warm and inviting. A comfortable living room, a clean kitchen, a bright bedroom, and even a small study with a desk and bookshelf. "I've also opened a bookshop and school supply store for you," Ibrahim added. "It's next to a secondary school. You'll manage it, and I'll cover the first year's costs. I know your passion for education, let's use it." Musa's hands trembled. For the first time in years, his tears came not from sorrow but from hope. In the weeks that followed, Musa's life began to change. He ran the store with dedication and care. Students came daily to buy pens, notebooks, and textbooks, many staying behind to ask for help with their studies. Musa never turned anyone away. "You can't just memorize," he told one boy, pointing to a math problem. "Understand the process, and the answer will come." Word spread quickly. The community began greeting him again, not as a beggar, but as Mr. Musa, a man who had rebuilt his life from nothing. One Saturday afternoon, while arranging books, he heard a soft voice behind him. "Musa." He turned, and the book nearly slipped from his hand. Standing in the doorway was Stella, his former wife. Her face was pale, her clothes simple and worn, her jewelry gone. A small suitcase rested at her feet. "Can we talk?" she asked quietly. "Outside," Musa said, folding his arms. "What do you want, Stella?" Tears welled in her eyes. "I have nowhere to go. The man I left you for sold our house, drained my account, and ran off with another woman. I've lost everything." Musa took a slow breath. "I'm sorry for what happened," she continued, her voice trembling. "Please, can I stay just for a while?" He looked at her for a long moment. This was the same woman who had once left him without a backward glance. "Stella," he said evenly, "I forgave you long ago, but I've moved on. My life is peaceful now. You made your choice, and I've made mine." Her head dropped. "Please, even a room." "I wish you well," Musa replied steadily. "But this is not your home." Without another word, he turned and walked back into the shop, his heart pounding. That night, Musa called Ibrahim. "She came back," he said simply. "What did you tell her?" Ibrahim asked. I told her no. On the other end, Ibrahim's voice carried a smile. I'm proud of you. You didn't just give me a house and a business, Musa said softly. You gave me back my dignity. Life soon found a calm rhythm. The shop flourished. Musa greeted every student and teacher warmly, becoming more than just a shopkeeper. He was a guide, a listener, almost a father figure to many. One Friday morning, as he arranged pens on the counter, the bell above the door rang. A woman in a simple blue dress walked in, her smile gentle and her eyes bright. Good morning, she said. Do you have senior school math textbooks? Yes, Musa replied. This way. She followed him to the shelves, selected her books, and returned to the counter. I've seen you before, she said as he packed them. You help students who can't afford supplies. They remind me of who I used to be. Musa smiled. She extended her hand. I'm Grace. I teach at the nearby secondary school. He shook it. Musa. I own this shop. Her eyebrows lifted. That's wonderful. This place feels so welcoming. We need more people like you. Musa felt a warmth in his chest. It had been a long time since he'd spoken to a woman like this. Thank you, he said quietly. You're very kind. Weeks passed, and Grace became a familiar presence in Musa's days. Sometimes she came for teaching supplies, other times just to greet him. Their conversations grew longer and more comfortable, often over shared lunches she brought from home. Musa would walk her back to the school afterward, and they would exchange stories, some filled with sorrow, others with quiet laughter. Grace had known loss too, a widow raising her daughter alone. She understood pain, but also the slow, patient work of healing. One evening, they sat outside the shop as the sunset painted the sky in gold. You're a strong man, Grace said. Musa shook his head gently. I don't feel strong, just thankful to still be here. No, she replied, her tone calm but firm. You walked through fire and chose kindness. That's true strength. Musa's eyes softened. I never thought I'd meet someone like you. Grace looked down with a small smile. And I never thought I'd smile like this again. That night, Musa called Ibrahim. I think I've met someone, he said. Ibrahim laughed. Musa, the lover boy. Not like that, Musa chuckled. She's different. Calm, wise, full of light. Then don't let that light fade, Ibrahim said warmly. You deserve happiness. Time passed. Grace's daughter, Rachel, often visited the shop, helping arrange books and sitting in the reading corner Musa built just for her. He treated her like his own, teaching, listening, encouraging. One bright afternoon, Musa invited Grace and Rachel to a quiet garden. Kneeling with a small ring in hand, he said, I don't have much to offer, but I have peace, respect, and love. Will you marry me? Tears filled Grace's eyes. Yes, Musa. 1,000 times, yes. Rachel squealed with joy and hugged them both. Their wedding was simple but filled with love. Friends, neighbors, and even President Traoré attended. After the ceremony, Traoré pulled Musa aside. You look like a man who's found peace. I have, Musa replied. Ibrahim placed a hand on his shoulder. You found it because you never gave up. Months later, Musa's life was full, his loving wife, a daughter who adored him, a thriving business, and a home alive with laughter. He founded an organization to support men who had lost everything, offering shelter, training, and small business opportunities. I was once on that street, Musa told the first group. One friend changed my story. Now I want to change yours. Across town, Stella sat alone in a rented room. She had called Musa many times, but he never answered. Once, she went to his shop and found a sign, closed this week for family reasons. See you soon. In the window was a photo, Musa and Grace holding hands, Rachel smiling between them. Stella's vision blurred. She had once held everything but threw it away. Now, Musa had everything she never valued. Slowly, she turned and walked down the dusty road, empty-handed. That evening, Musa sat on the porch with Grace, a warm cup of tea in hand. The night air was still, and the stars scattered like diamonds above. "Do you think your ex-wife regrets it now?" Grace asked softly. Musa looked up at the sky. "Maybe. But that's not my concern anymore." Grace reached for his hand. "Let's keep writing new chapters," she whispered. He smiled, squeezing her fingers. "Beautiful ones." Musa's life had become more than a personal triumph, it was a living testimony. From sleeping on the streets to becoming a respected businessman, husband, and father, his story brought hope to many. The Musa Foundation had already helped over 50 men rebuild their lives. Some became mechanics, others opened shops, barber stalls, or food stands. They all shared one thing in common: they believed again because Musa believed in them first. One afternoon, President Ibrahim Traoré called. "I want you to speak at the National Youth Conference," he said. "Your story needs to be heard." When Musa's name was announced, he walked onto the stage in a neat gray suit, standing tall. The applause was warm but respectful. He adjusted the microphone. "I was a man who lost everything," he began. "Not because I was lazy or foolish, but because I trusted the wrong person." He paused, scanning the audience. "My wife and her lover took everything. I was thrown out, mocked, and left with nothing but shame. But one afternoon, as I sat hungry on the street, a man I once helped found me." Musa glanced at Ibrahim in the front row. "That man didn't pity me or walk away. He lifted me up and reminded me that broken things can be made beautiful again." The hall fell silent. Then Musa smiled. "Today, I hold no anger. The best revenge is peace, joy, and moving forward. No matter how bad it gets, your story can change, if you don't give up." The crowd rose to their feet in applause. That night, back in the garden, Rachel played with their puppy while Musa and Grace sat side by side. "Do you still think about her?" Grace asked. "Not with anger," Musa replied. "Just wonder how someone can throw away gold and pick up sand." Grace laughed softly. "She lost a good man," Musa said, smiling, "and I gained a queen." Far away, Stella worked in a small restaurant. The man she left Musa for had taken her money and left her in debt. The house she once took from him was gone. In her darkest moment, she had even tried to end her life but survived. Sometimes, she scrolled through Musa's photos online, the interviews, the smiling family, the joy. Each image cut deep. The man she thought would crumble without her had become more than she could ever imagine, without her. A year later, Musa was invited to the presidential palace for dinner. In the garden, Ibrahim handed him a small box. "What's this?" Musa asked. "An award," Ibrahim smiled. "For your work with the Musa Foundation." Inside was a golden medal. Musa embraced his friend. "You didn't just change my life," he said. "You gave me the chance to change others too." "That's the power," Ibrahim replied, of one hand lifted in kindness. As the evening breeze drifted through the garden, Musa looked up at the sky. "Who would have thought," he whispered, "that the man with nothing would one day have more than he ever dreamed?" His eyes shone, not with pain, but with peace. The past was gone. The future was bright. And this time, no one could take it away. No matter how far you fall, one act of kindness can be the first step toward hope. The choice to rise is always yours. If this story touched you, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a little hope today. Thank you for watching.